It's a good question, very good question. And for the guys that are competing, it's very important that you find out about yourself to answer that question. You have to know yourself. And what I mean is, there's a perfect line of training. This line is the volume and the intensity. If you're on that line, that means you're in your prime, you're in optimal shape. However, if you're below the line, you're a little bit less. And if you're over the line, you're a little bit too much. Let me ask you, which one is worse, being over or under? Yes, being over is worse. The reason is, if you're over the line, you don't recuperate well, you get hurt, and that's when all sort of problem happens. So you better be safer and sorry than be too much. And I learned it the hard way. Look, I got hurt, and I'm not even in training camp, but sometimes I forgot that I'm 42 years old, and I try to train like when I was 25. But you have to know also, when I say to know yourself, are you someone who's lazy? Because there's a big difference between being lazy and not doing enough, and doing too much, I mean. Because I know a lot of guys, they say, oh, I'm tired, I feel I'm overtrained. They say that because they are lazy. But I know also certain people that are very hard workers. And when they tell me, hey, George, I feel I've done enough. And because I know them, I'm like, yeah, you should go home, bro. So, and the way you found out about it, that's the role of your coaches. A good coach will know his athlete and will tell him, like, no. Like Freddie Roach used sometimes to send me home. Some of my trainers, sometimes Christophe, Midou, used to send me home. I used to go in the gym and be like under rest because I didn't sleep well. Because when you're overtrained, you do too much. You have your level of cortisol is spiking. You can't sleep. Your mind is running. It's like you're going crazy. You're like almost depressive. You feel like claustrophobic. And on top of that, if you go train, you increases the risk of injuries, which is worse. So this is the role of the coaches, and I'm sure they have very good coaches. And there's a lot of ways that you can find out physically if you're overtrained. There's different tests. First is the mental test. How do you feel? Are you happy? What is your mood? Are you hungry? Do you have pleasure of coming here and train? Of course, I'm not asking you if you're afraid, if you're stressed. This is normal, but do you really want to do this? How do you feel your mood? This is the first test. Then you have your heart rate. When you wake up in the morning, check your heart rate. If your heart rate is up higher to a certain level, that means that's a sign. There's also the how do you say, the vertical jump. You go on a wall, and you don't need money to do these tests. Like I was broke as hell, and I used to do these tests. Like, so I go here, I do my max, and I touch. I make a line, then first I take the measurement. I make a line, and then whoo, I touch. And I do that in a day that I feel good, like I feel on top. And I compare this margin, this distance of a day that I don't feel good. I feel like I'm under rest. And you'll see it right away. Right before training, not at the end of your training, right before training. You'll see if there's a big difference, that means go home. Otherwise you might get hurt.